So today what we're doing is I'm making a video about the Kouros and the Kora and the red and black figure pottery. So the Kouros is the male figure and the Kora is the female figure. The Kouros is always shown nude like this and in this stance, or at least in the beginning of it, it's always in this stance. And we can really look at the evolution of the Kouros figure and see how the human body changed over hundreds of years throughout ancient Egypt. So this was near Athens, circa 530 BCE, and it's more or less a grave marker. It's more than 6 feet tall, and it marks the grave of a fallen warrior. So this would be a way that if a young man went off into war and he died, which was extremely honorable, he would then his family would honor him with something like this to mark his grave. You'll note that he is very symmetrical in the way that he is depicted. He has this very stylized braided hair, this smirky, archaic smile, very kind of round, bulbous eyes, one leg forward, arms to the side, very stiff. And if we look back into some of the art that we've looked at before, Egyptian art particularly, we can make some connections between the two in the way they stand. So the similarities here are that they both have the same foot forward, arms at the side, very stylized, very symmetrical, very stiff, shown very youthful and fit, right? Although the Egyptian king, he wears like this loincloth and the headdress of the king and the beard, where this figure is completely nude. The Kora is the female version of this, and at this time period we're going to see the female figure clothed like I'm showing you here. She has one arm that would have been extended forward, and just over the course of hundreds and hundreds of years, unfortunately it's been lost and we don't have it, but this was a socket that was made for another piece of stone to fit into. Her hair is also braided and very stylized. She too has this kind of weird, archaic smirk, and the eyes are not very realistic. She's very symmetrical and very stiff in the way she stands. We have then, and there's a video up that gives a really more in-depth look at the Kora and the Kouros, and I would like you to watch that because it does have other versions of the Kouros that it shows you in that video, and it walks you through some of the evolution of how the figure is developing. So now when we look at the pottery, we have the figures here painted in black. So this becomes known as the black figure pottery. So the next one is the red figure, literally because the figures are red. Okay, so it's an easy thing to tell apart. So I have a video up explaining how they accomplished the black coloring, but simply put, it's very thin clay. It's called slip. It's applied to the existing terracotta that is making up the vase or the container, and then as it's fired, it is exposed to air at certain times, and it oxidizes and changes color. It's quite amazing that they were able to do this to control the temperature and the timing, considering they're burning wood in the kilns, they don't have gas or anything, and they are just using the sun to tell time. They don't have watches. So it's really amazing. I have a video up that walks you through it and really explains it, shows you pictures of cartoon pictures of like how they did the kiln and stuff. So here we have our two famous warriors, Ajax and Achilles, and they're playing a game which would be something like our checkers nowadays, and it's circa 540 to 530 BCE. And this is depicting these two heroes before they go into war, and it's the Trojan War. We know that the Trojan War 100% took place. We do not know if all the stories about it are true, such as the war was started over the beautiful Helen, and the wooden horse that the army hides in and is offered as a gift, and then once in the city jumps out. We don't know if those things are true, but we do know 100% this war took place. So we have Achilles here, and Achilles, you might know the saying, it's your Achilles heel, something that is like your downfall. So Achilles had one parent that was mortal, a human, and one parent that was a god. And if I'm remembering correctly, his mother was a god. She's a goddess. So she is the one I know that takes him down to the river Styx, which is the river that encircles Hades, and she holds him by his heel, and she dips him in the river Styx because she wants to make him immortal like the gods. And this helps Achilles that nothing can harm him, or so he thinks. And he goes into battle, and lo and behold, somebody shoots an arrow at him, and it hits him in his heel, where his mother held him, and he dies. And this is why we have the saying, that's your Achilles heel. That's what does you in, right? Your weak point. This was his weak point because his mother held him. So he didn't get the river Styx on that part of his body. So Ajax and Achilles, they were great friends, and they would go to war together. So when Ajax hears that Achilles has died, Ajax then commits suicide. So this is a tragic story, and the people of ancient Greece would know this right away, and they would be able to understand the story even from this picture. They didn't need everything spelled out for them in pictures about him dying and then the other one committing suicide. This is called an amphora, and as I said, each kind of shape here of the containers has a different name. So this is an amphora. This is a crater. When the top is bigger, it's called a crater. And here we have the red figure. So literally now the background is painted black, and then the figures are just detailed in line and patterning. This is again a story of a tragic story of a fallen hero, where we have our great warrior here. He's dying. You see the blood pouring out of him, and his soldiers are carrying him. So actually at this time, we have a lot of these stories that are painted onto these containers, and they have been preserved through the centuries. And so we know a lot of information about the ancient Greeks because of the pottery. So it's really important that we have these. And this one is circa 515 BCE. So I'm going to stop here, and I'm going to make another video of the next section.